Are you a business owner? Maybe you've had some tough times. You're in for a great surprise today with a great story. So join us here on Clear Vision with Miles. This is Miles here with Clear Vision with Miles. It is Friday. You know what time it is? It's 4:30. It's Clear Vision with Miles, and I'm your host, Miles Sherwood. Today is week 31, and I'm excited because I've been coming to you live for 31 weeks straight. Every single week we do have usually a guest with us. About 30 or 29 of those weeks we've had a guest. And today, like no other, we have another guest, and I'm so excited to bring on. And as you heard some of the little promos, we're still in our entrepreneur series. This is our last week, our last episode of our entrepreneur series. And as you know, I'm an entrepreneur, and I've actually gone through some struggles. If this is the first time that you're tuning in, welcome. If this is your 31st time or your second or third time, welcome back. Thank you so much. As you know, a year and a half ago, I lost a vision in my right eye and had some surgeries and lost a vision in my left eye. Last year, for 6 months straight, I had no vision at all. And I had to continue on with life. I had to continue on with so many different things. And that was, for me, it was a journey. And there's three things during that journey that I have stood on and I'm standing on now. And that's number one, that God's with me every day of my life. Number two, or that God's got me. Number two is that this is a journey. And there are some bumps in the journey sometimes. There are some detours in journeys sometimes. And if it's a long journey, it's going to take a little while to get there. You got some pit stops to make. You've got an overnight stay. You've got to drive through some hazardous weather. But you ultimately get to your destination, and that's what this journey is all about. And so I know I'm not alone. And the number three of these 3 points that I've started Clear Vision was enjoy the journey. When someone told me that when I couldn't see, it's like, Miles, enjoy this time. I'm like, how am I going to enjoy this time? And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Every Friday I enjoy this time by coming on live here on Facebook, YouTube, and soon we'll be on other platforms. But today I've got a very, very special guest. And as you know, I bring on another guest who's also gone through some tough journeys. You can call them an adventure. You can call it a struggle. You can call it a change in life. I've chosen to call it journeys. And today I have a very special guest with me. This is Anthony Bonilla. Anthony, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, Miles. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me on.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Anthony, to Clear Vision. When I had this whole series planned out, I thought about you, and we agreed on the time, we agreed on the date, and I'm excited that day is here, man. Welcome.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's an honor to be here. I remember when you first called me asking if I want to be part of this call, and I said absolutely yes. So I'm honored.
Awesome, brother. Well, hey, why don't you tell our guests a little bit? They know enough about me, but I always like to bring on my guests and have them talk a little bit about their story. So if you can, just in a few minutes, let everyone know who Anthony Bonilla is, and then we'll get in a minute to, kind of those struggles and the journeys that I know your story is an awesome story, and it goes perfect with what we're talking about, especially in business. But let's first find out, who is Anthony Bonilla?
Yeah, of course. I'll just give a quick basic rundown. So 32 years old, located in Southern California. I grew up in East Los Angeles. I played soccer when I was young. My dad was my coach, my mentor. So that was fun, great, but also challenging. With soccer, I decided I wanted to be a soccer coach like my father. So I went to Cal State Long Beach for a few years to study there, and then from there, that's where in college where I started looking into the entrepreneur journey. Caught my attention through network marketing, and obviously it led from one business to another. A few failures here and there, but you had to fail to find that successful journey that obviously I'm part of now with you as well. So yeah, just father of two little girls, a 3-year-old and a newborn, and then my wife Laura as well.
Awesome. Yeah, you know what? And I forgot, my bad. I was gonna put some pictures up of you and your girls and your wife. How can people follow you, Anthony? Where are you at? Where can people follow you? Just kind of, get to know you a little bit. I've got a
Yeah, of
very
course.
good followers. They're not, going to be bombarding you with anything, but
Yeah.
how can everybody
So
kind of follow you and get to know you a little better?
yeah, of course. So I do have my own YouTube channel as well. You can just find me under Anthony Bonilla. I think I have it as the Solar Mentor. And then I do have my Instagram page, which is Anthony Bonilla _ solar. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So definitely, Anthony's a family man. We we've worked together on the same company, and we've met maybe 2 or 3 times at different conventions or different meetings. We're actually not on the same team, but we're on the same team in general on the same company. We both represent the same company, and I've learned a lot from Anthony. But I've learned a lot in just his work ethic. And you mentioned something, Anthony, and kind of what we're talking to our the whole focus of Clear Vision is to help people who are going through a tough time. Okay. And this whole entrepreneur series, I've had other series where I really feel like we can touch and help different people, like authors of books. I've written a book. I'm adopted. I want to help nonprofits. So I wrote a book about adoption, my story, how I adopted my 2 kids. Again, I'm a family man just like you. I also want to reach out to, musicians, especially, the worship bands in churches and congregations to be able to help them, be the best they can be. And then the other part is the entrepreneurs. And this is really where I feel my heart is, where I really feel passionate to encourage and motivate. And so you said just recently, right when you were talking here, introducing yourself, that you went through some hard times and some changes. Um, how many hard times really do you think an entrepreneur will go through, like in his whole career? You as starting out something new, there's going to be some struggles, but how would people really, if there's someone watching today and say, hey, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a seasoned entrepreneur, or I'm a business person, okay, I'm a businessman or businesswoman, and I've really had some hard times, how do you get through those times?
Yeah, I mean it's entrepreneurship. It sounds great, right? Until until you start experiencing it, you gotta. I mean, it's like a roller coaster, to be honest. It's not for everyone, but the reason I started looking into entrepreneurship is because I really just wanted a different lifestyle. And I was driving from home to school, school back to home, and I was like, this is what it's going to be like driving to work. I don't think I want to do this. So I just wanted to do something different, right? So that's where it started, and then a friend of mine introduced me to a network marketing company, and that led to another company, and then that led to meeting more people, more entrepreneurs who knew more people. So it's all just connections. One thing that one of my mentors told me: it's not about how much you know, but it's about who you know, right? But my journey in entrepreneurship started in 2013,
Mhm.
and I would say I found the right platform, the right venture, right? 7 years later in 2020, which is the company we're with now, Miles. So it took a while. I mean, it took me, having to try something, and it worked for a bit, and it didn't after 2 years, and then find something else, and just it's journeys that you go through, and I've learned to enjoy that journey, even though sometimes it does get tough. But when you do pick up momentum and you start having success, and you just, with the way I am, the type of person is, whenever I feel that something has been successful for myself, because I like to try it first, right? I like to share it with the world, with my friends, my family. Now, not everybody will partner with me, but as long as I share it, I feel inside my heart that I did right, right?
So how do you enjoy that time, Anthony? I mean, I know how I enjoy certain things. Like, I get something and I get passionate about it. When I get on something, I'm committed 100%. Even though I may not know everything about the company or everything about, you know, um, the place I'm going to start working, or even different when I was in different jobs, you know, um, just over broke, right? Jobs, job, just over broke.
Right.
I got tired of the commute, and then when COVID hit and I was able to work from home, I liked it, but then I was working more hours, and just entrepreneurship for me was just that's what I wanted to do. But how do you really enjoy is there a switch that you flip on, or like just what you said, how do you enjoy that? So if we're speaking to maybe entrepreneurs that are watching or listening to this live or recording, how do you enjoy that?
I guess you could say there's different stages of my life. Right now, I'm a father, husband, right? But before that, I was just a college student, right? And well, I because I wanted a different lifestyle. My working schedule, being a soccer coach for the youth, was very different. While everybody was at work from 9 to 5, I was out and about having fun, right? No traffic, nobody at the movie theaters, whatever, traveling, right? And
Yeah.
then I would go to the fields in the evening, so it was very different than games and tournaments on the weekend. So that part of being my own soccer coach, having my own soccer teams, inspiring kids, I did it for 15 years. I recently retired last year. Um, I mean,
Wait, you what? Let's, how old are you?
I'm 32
And you retired
from coaching. Yeah,
from coaching. Okay, I got you. I
I
know. I just
guess.
want
Yeah, you know what? I took a break because I said, well, when I first started coaching, I guess that's really where my entrepreneur mindset started, right? Just having a different lifestyle. When I first started coaching, I was 17 helping my dad, right, with his soccer teams. And then I was 18, I started with my own teams. Um, I did it because I just wanted to inspire more kids. Never had the intention of coaching high school or college. It was just the youth. Now, I've always coached kids from the age of 6 through 13, 14 years old. Um, so that was my passion, being at the field with the kids on the weekends. And being 17, 18 years old, early 20s, I was like, what, I could do this for the rest of my life. It's my passion. I love it. I bring a smile to the kids. Like, they're very thankful I could be there, not just as a coach, teaching
Mhm.
them the skills of soccer, but more as a role model, more as an inspiration, a
Yeah.
father figure for those who didn't have a father, right? So that for me, that was heartwarming, and that's why I kept doing it for many years. It wasn't until I started when I got married and then started thinking about having kids and then having my kids now, where I started realizing like, wow, I love coaching and I could keep doing it for the rest of my life, but financially, I'm not going to make it,
Yeah.
as far as helping my family, raising a family. So I started thinking this is why I try different businesses, right, throughout my last 15 years, because especially with entrepreneurship, just because I wanted to find something where I could keep coaching and also build a business at the same time. So I tried network marketing, a few companies, got involved with cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. That went really well in 2017 until it hit a downside the
Yeah.
following year. And then from there, a friend of mine actually introduced me to solar, and that's how I got involved with that. So and it worked perfectly with my coaching schedule. So I say I retired from coaching, but I was thinking recently, you know what? I'm going to come back, but this time I don't have to coach for any income, and this time I could coach my own daughter and the newborn when she gets older, right? So I could coach her in AY. So I don't want to coach her in club just because I want to enjoy her. I want to be able to be dad and not coach, right? I'll train her, but my father and my relationship, it was a tough one, him being my coach. So I don't want to be that drill sergeant for my daughter and break that relationship. So I'll coach her as much as I can, where she's enjoying it, and so am I. But I really want to be there for my family and really, Miles, I want to inspire more people who, like you say, are struggling. Whether it's they lost a loved one, whether It's they have a job that they don't love, whether it's they just want more time freedom with their family, or maybe they want that time freedom to start a family, or that extra income to help mom or dad who need to pay hospital bills or medicine, whatever it is. I really just want to inspire. Everybody has their own story, and I just want to share my story because maybe it could inspire one person today or later on, and they could inspire someone else. So I always say, pay it forward.
Yeah. And that's why I have clear vision. That's why, I'm passionate about it. I'm researching, I'm trying to be better. I've got the podcast intro now. We've used a couple of intros because I really want to inspire other people just like you. And that's why I think you and I really connected well, because you and I've never had this talk about inspiring other people, and that's why you do what you do. But you can just see, you can tell work ethic, you can tell in conversation, you can tell in a lot of different areas and what you talk about, and I had some questions for you, but before I get to some of the questions, we'll be kind of talking about it. But I want to mention your second daughter was born. How old is your first daughter?
My first daughter will be 4 in April.
Okay, so you'll be 4 in April. All right. See, I'll have an 18-year-old in April. My son will be 18 and my daughter is 9. Your second daughter was born during the World Cup, right?
She was born the day before Thanksgiving last year. So she helped me through the World Cup. When she was up at 2:30 in the morning, wanting to eat, I was fine with it because I was watching the games.
That's awesome, man. I wish I had a picture of it, but I'll find one of those pictures and I'll tag it on my Instagram or Facebook page. Everybody's got to watch that. But yeah, I mean, I saw Anthony with the jerseys. He packed the suitcases to go to the hospital, and he has a picture where he's got all these different jerseys from these different countries. U.S. and Mexico, obviously, right, are our top two. But then you had Brazil. I think you had Neymar's jersey or something. But you had like 5-6 jerseys there. Did you have Italy?
So I had it. No, I didn't have Italy because they didn't qualify.
Exactly, they didn't qualify.
Yeah, I had Spain, I had France, Brazil, Portugal. I had U.S. and Mexico, of course. But no, my wife's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, Mexico plays on Tuesday, U.S. on Monday, Wednesday's Brazil, Thursday's Friday, Thursday's France, and so on." So yeah, no, I had all my jerseys.
That's enjoying life, bro. That's what enjoying life is all about, and with having your own company, your own business and entrepreneurship, like you said, it's tough. It's not for everyone. Business maybe is not for everyone, but there are people that I feel that we can also help and motivate even on this, is that even though you have work a lot of work hours, you're a manager or you're, manager, or, have a high responsibility at your job and at the company you work for. Maybe you're not the owner, but you have a position there. You have a lot of responsibility. We know that it's important, just like us, like we're entrepreneurs and we have to schedule our own time. We got to make sure and I know that you talk a little bit about your 5 a.m. accountability calls.
Yeah, of course. So
how did those start?
Yeah, and my team. So that actually has been going on with a top leader on my team named Zachary. And he's just a great entrepreneur. He's in the real estate industry and he joined our solar team. So he's been having this since he started with Power since July, August. And I've been seeing his success within the team. And I was like, you know what? We always say this: new year, new me. I said, in January 1st, I'm going to start joining these accountability calls. And prior to that, the only reason I would wake up before 5 a.m. was because of the World Cup games during Thanksgiving, right? December. Yeah. But then I said, you know what? I need to join these calls and just hold myself accountable, because I was reaching success. And I mean, I was having a lot of success with solar and still am, luckily, and I'm blessed. But I was like, I know I could take it to the next level, right? But not only that, the reason I wake up to join these 5 a.m. accountability calls is to be there for the new person, for the team, right? Because again, sharing your story, sharing what didn't work in the beginning, what worked for you in the beginning, or what's working for you now. I mean, maybe it could help somebody else and inspire them. And yeah, that's why I join these accountability calls. They're actually good.
Yeah, I need to get on a couple of those. I'm actually joined. This has nothing to do with solar. It's more of a spiritual walk. It's more of a, in the Bible, it's taking a proverb every day. I'm a Bible guy. I love God, and I don't hide into that. And this program is not to convince anybody or talk about religion or anything like that. But I personally read the Word of God, and it inspires me. Talking about inspiration and being inspiration, so you know, in business, you have to be wise. You
Right.
have to know the smart way to do things, and we can learn from so many different people. But why not learn from one of the most successful people in all time? That was Solomon, and he wrote Proverbs. And so we
Right.
take a Proverbs every single day. It's 9 a.m., which I like the 9 a.m. With my eye situation, the mornings are really tough. I can't see a lot in the mornings, but I
Right.
sometimes get calls at 8 in the morning. I'll take the calls, but I could set my own schedule. I could do it later. I don't do the 5 a.m. things, but I can adjust. But we take an hour, 9 a.m. There's this, he's called the challenge guy. His name is Pedro Adeo. He does all these challenges, and he has this is the fourth year in a row. And he does it's a Proverbs challenge. It's 31 days. There's 31 Proverbs. He talks about the wise man and how, all these different things. So I think accountability and being trained like that, and showing up, being consistent are key things. You talked already a little bit. You kind of covered some of the questions. How you wanted to be an entrepreneur. You talked a little bit um, about when COVID hit, you had to transition, and how power and how the solar company now is really blossomed and flourished. And I've got to give respect to you, and honor you, and say kudos and thumbs up. Really, I admire you, for what you've done in the short amount of time. When I grow up, I want to be like you. I tell it to everybody. What's key in what you're doing too is, you haven't changed at all. From the first day I met you, which is about a year or so ago, at one of the meetings before I knew you, but then I saw you the first time, and then even today, you still stay that same, humble kind of person. And when sometimes you can seem like if you're humble, you can step on you a lot easier. But I know that's not right. Have you kind of encountered some like friction? Um, and if or any problems? And like we deal with construction, so there's always, some problems, but like we deal with people, there can be sometimes some situations where they're not fun, they're not easy. How do you handle that? How do you handle those things?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we deal with a lot of homeowners, right? Different personalities, and I've dealt for 15 years with different personalities from soccer players, but I mean, there are kids. What I think will prepare me for this type of business in the solar industry was having to deal with soccer families, right? Different personalities. Some are more aggressive than others, right? Um, and it's a I love the soccer families I got the pleasure to see on my teams for many years, but they taught me a lot of lessons as a person, right? Patience, and a little bit of everything. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that prepped me. How is it that I still remain, you say, humble? I mean, one of my mentors, who JC Rangel, he always says, if you don't remain humble, God will find a way to humble you. And there's been some things that happened in my life where um, for example, like I remember during the cryptocurrency, or even like network marketing, I remember I look back at some of the videos or some of the posts I used to put, and I was a young college guy, right? So I used to think it was about being flashy. I used to think about showing off what you got, material stuff, and to attract successful people. That was what I used to think. But
Yeah.
reality, I was attracting the wrong type of people, business partners. And same happened with cryptocurrency, with Bitcoin, right? I got I was humble, and all of a sudden it got to my head, and I started becoming flashy, like, yeah, we're living life. And
Mhm.
so then my mentor, when he said that, it clicked. And I remember back in 2019, that's when I was still coaching club soccer, and my wife and I had just bought our home out here in the Inland Empire. And I was making that transition of, I want to keep coaching, but I want to try solar as well, and try that venture and see how that works out, and have friends who are being successful. Well, I joined a solar company for a few months, and then all of a sudden we had someone very close to our family, passed away, and that hit our family very hard.
Mm,
So I went 3, 4 months out of the solar industry. I wasn't working that, and then all of a sudden, COVID hits. The shutdown happens in March of 2020, April 2020. Those 2 months were the roughest 2 months of my life, emotionally, mentally, financially, because of the passing that happened in January of 2020. And then, having to be there for my wife as a husband, having my daughter was only 1 year at the time. Uh, I remember that April 2020, I couldn't afford a gift for my daughter. 1 year,
mm,
first year birthday, I couldn't afford it. Maxed out my credit cards. I couldn't buy groceries, couldn't even buy a gallon of milk. Some of you probably feel like, that's silly, a gallon of milk, $3, $5. Like, I couldn't, man. I remember having to borrow that money from my wife, and luckily she was that support system when she was struggling mentally and emotionally, financially. She was that support system for our family, and during those 2 months in 2020 when I lost my job coaching, it's not like they fired me, but we just couldn't be on the fields. I couldn't. Not only did I lose my income, but I lost my passion of or being with the kids. Right, I couldn't see them in person for many months, so that was very hard for me. And I know it was for them as well, and us as a family. So mentally, I started getting into depression. I don't really share it much, but I started sharing it more just because maybe it's going to inspire somebody out there.
mm.
But I started having suicidal thoughts. And now that I look back, it's very sad to think that, because I had my 1 year old daughter, had my wife, and I started thinking, what if I would have been gone, and how's she going to be able to handle all this, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you believe in the law of attraction, right? But that's what one of the first things I learned, and through entrepreneurship back in 2013, I started thinking towards the last weeks of April, like, gee, like, God, what is it that I could do? I need help, I need support, I need something. Like I couldn't find a way out. Like I was upset, I was angry, but I was hopeful. Right. I was like, you know what? And in my darkest times, in my lowest of the lows, like, I was hopeful. And all of a sudden, I believe that same week, I just happened to see JC Rangel's Facebook video that he was joining the solar industry through power. And I told my wife and I shared it with her. I was like, you know what? I have nothing else. Like I really have nothing else to lose. Lost it all already. Luckily, let me rephrase that. I didn't lose it all because I had my wife and my daughter, or my family. So, but as far as financially, I lost it all. Like, I need to find something. I'm hungry. And I gave it a shot. I reached out to JC, who I known since 2014 through network marketing. I was like, hey, man, I saw you got involved in the solar industry. I have a little bit of experience, but I'm coachable, knowledgeable. I want to learn, and I want to reach success here with you and your team. And we worked together before, and I just need you to be my mentor. And yeah, I took the opportunity and I ran with it since May of 2020. So I know I went in a little awful here, but it leads to, why do I remain humble, or try to remain humble, and then not be flashy anymore, or show off, or feel like I'm better than anyone, because I'm not. I'm just a regular person. Is because, again, if you don't humble yourself, God will find a way to humble you. And through those experiences in the past, I'm like, I don't want to experience that anymore. So
Right.
every day I just, I pray, I give thanks for what I have already. And the reason I work my ass off every day, wake up 4:30 in the morning, or I go to sleep. I go to sleep at 10 with my daughter and my wife and our newborn, right? Family time. But the reason I work my ass off every day is because I remember what it felt back in 2020. And the reason I work my butt off to inspire more people and share the opportunities, because I don't want them to go through a struggle similar to mine, or through their own struggles. So yeah, that's the reason, Miles.
Yeah, man. No, you've got, you've got, you're someone who I tell people when I talk about you, someone like you, but specifically you, and I'll tell it to you, is that you've got a call in your life, man. God put you on this earth for a reason. And, just like you say, you didn't lose everything. You still had your wife, you had your family, you had everything you needed to begin again with your family. So you had everything. You lost income, you lost maybe some, like I've lost income, I've lost some personal things, personal belongings, but or material things. But if you don't lose your family, you still have the family, you still have everything. If you have faith, you believe in someone and you
Mhm.
have faith, and I choose to call our creator, God, and and that's my faith. But with family and faith, brother, I mean, you can start anything
Yeah.
and you can start all over again. That's why they ask these millionaires like Grant Cardone, all these, if you had lost everything and you start over again, they all tell you, yeah, I can do it all over
Yeah.
again because they know how they've already done it once. And so that's great. Hey, I want to kind of take a little shift here because we got some questions here for you, but I also want to I always have to say hello to everybody, and I haven't done that yet. So just so you know too, we've got Dulce, my sister-in-law, is here. And if you guys can, I'm going to mention your names. We have a gift card we're going to give away today, but you got to do a couple of things. You need to share this out. Okay. So share this out. I've seen a couple people have already shared this out. Only 2 people have shared this. So Ricardo and Anthony, you shared out. Thank you so much. But Ricardo Verdevista is watching here from San Diego. Dulce Torres saying hello, Anthony. Thank you for joining. Dulce Gómez, my mother-in-law, here is also watching. Ella habla español, así que hoy es en inglés, pero Anthony lo vamos a traer de vuelta a nuestra semana de español. Okay, so I just said for those who don't speak Spanish, we're going to bring Anthony on next time when we have a Spanish one. Okay, so Viviana, my wife, is watching. This is hello. Daniel Flores is what he's here in San Diego. He's a networker, man, big network. I belong to his network called Gente Bonita. It's kind of like a BNI, but Gente Bonita and with the Latinos. So welcome, Daniel Flores. He's been on my program as well. Great guy, great networker. Ricardo saying blessings to all, to Anthony. Alan Mate is actually the bookkeeper. He holds the bookkeeper seat in my BNI group here in San Diego. So Alan, thank you so much for joining. He's saying that ancient wisdom, I love that. It makes us a better entrepreneur. That's when we were talking about the wisdom challenge that I'm part of. So Alan does have a question for you, Anthony. And Alan, I hope you're still on. I think he is. It says, Anthony, what's the number one thing you learned in your adversity experience as an entrepreneur journey? So what's the number one thing, I guess the number one thing you learned in your adversity during your experience as an entrepreneur?
Well, before I even became an entrepreneur, I mean, I was already, I guess I could say I'm a friendly person that likes to meet a lot of people. So when I went to college at Cal State Long Beach, it was very multicultural. So I got to meet different ethnicities, right? Different cultures. And so with coaching, I mean, I guess the one thing I've learned to, I guess, be myself with whoever clients, just be myself, right? Try to connect with them in a way where, if they have something that they love to do, whether it's sports, whether it's food, whatever it is, I just try to like get to know them. I don't brush them off or treat them any different. I treat everybody with respect, just like how I would like to be respected too, right? But yeah, just I try to again just be myself. You know, someone told me, someone asked me actually, they asked me, did you ever read the book of How to Win Friends and Influence People? I was like, no. When I first started entrepreneurship, I know I haven't. I was like, stop lying. You know you have. I was like, never, I don't even know who the author is.
Yeah.
I was like, why do you ask? He goes, because you have the people skills.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I learned it from my mom and my dad. Just, be friendly, and just treat everybody with respect. And they're don't like don't try to feel like you're better than anybody else.
Okay.
And that's just what the person I am. I try to always give a helping hand, no matter who it is, and if I can, obviously, right?
Wow. Bro, you just dropped a $1 million nugget for every entrepreneur. Be authentic. Be real. Be who you are. And if you're not humble, if you're not authentic, people, your clients can tell that anywhere. Anybody, your business partners will be able to tell that too. I believe. So even though
Yeah.
you're authentic and you don't have those moral standards, then that's your authenticity is not going to help you. So you
Yeah.
gotta be
No,
authentic,
it's
but you
true.
also got to be humble and be real. And I've always, talked about, put the client first, you know, above
Right.
your needs, and so that's kind of what we do in our business too. We've kind of covered a lot of the questions without me even asking you. Besides humility, being authentic, you were raised right. Your mom did a good job, man. Congratulate her, please. If your mom
Thank
is
you.
still alive, I'm sure she is. You're young. If your mom's still
Yeah.
alive and your dad's still alive, please let them know that they did a very good job. Tell them that all of us here at Clear
Appreciate it.
Vision congratulate her and you for that. That's awesome. Um, and we're just telling you that so you stay the way you are, not don't change. But other than those qualities, are there any other qualities that an entrepreneur would need? So someone is on watching right now, or on the recording, and maybe they think they want to be an entrepreneur, or maybe they think they can't be an entrepreneur. What kind of qualities are needed to be an entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur?
Yeah, I mean, y- you gotta, I'm speaking to those who obviously are not entrepreneurs yet. You don't own your own business. You don't know how to start your own business, whatever it is, small business, big business, different industries. Maybe, you're that single mom, single dad. Maybe you're young and you're just thinking of what do I want in my life. Maybe you're a grandfather, grandmother, whatever it is in your life. You're tired of your job, or you're happy at your job, but you want to try something else too, to see what it's like. The advice I would give you guys is just give it a shot, give it a try, because you'll never know if it would work if you don't try. Now, maybe your first business venture won't work, right?
Right.
But they'll probably lead to some connections that could lead to your next business venture or your next one, and you eventually will find it if you stick long enough. But entrepreneurship, we talk about what skills is needed, what do we have. What's going to happen is when you get involved with entrepreneurship, you start learning new skills that you didn't know you actually
Yeah.
could pick up. You
Yeah.
start learning more about yourself. You start challenging yourself. You start feeling better. You start wanting to share that experience with more people. I mean, there's a lot of people that think we're crazy. You guys, all you talk about is, how great of a life you or your business or whatever, your different schedule from a 9 to 5. And a lot of times, I guess we tend to say, we're tired of the 9 to 5 job, and that's because we were tired of the 9 to 5 job. And then a lot of people could relate. I would recommend, if you get to see this recording, if you're on this call now, you have your story, right? No matter what path of life you're in, right? Stage of life as well, you have your story. Your story could inspire somebody else. That's the number one of the main reasons, the number one reason why I love entrepreneurship now is being with my family, having that time freedom. But another main reason why I love entrepreneurship is because it allows you to inspire more people. I recommend, if you're watching this, if you're on the live or you're going to watch this recording, if you made it this far, contact Miles, because again, you never know if your story could inspire somebody else, right? And then maybe that somebody else was probably wanting to give up in life, and because you shared your story on a Friday at 4:30 p.m., or you took 30 minutes, 40 minutes of your time, you just saved somebody's life indirectly without even knowing. And that's why I wanted to come on this call, because 2.5 years ago, I needed to watch a Facebook video that changed my life, and it did. Um, Yeah, hopefully that helped.
Awesome, bro. No. You're nailing it, man. I tell everyone that comes on my show, it's you know, the best person for that week, for that time, because we all have a calling, we all have a story, like you said. We can all inspire someone else. Maybe some people inspire more people just because they're a little more public, but sometimes, and again, for me, it's not about the views. It's not about that. It's not about, it's not about the money. It's not about recognition. It's about people, and so Alan is saying things that makes a lot of sense. He's responding to you here in the chat. He says, that's the kind of people I want to have around me too. You're the average of the closest 5 people to you. You're that one, right? So look around the people that surround you. You're the average of the 5 people that surround you. So if the 5 people around you are broke, complaining, and sick all the time, guess what you're going to be? Broke, sick, and complaining all the time. If the average five people that surround you are making double the money you make, guess what you're going to make real soon? Double what you're making right now in the economy, in economy and finances. But I also, Anthony, I don't know if you agree with this, but I'm sure you do. I want to surround myself with positive people, not fake positivity, not, fake it till you make it, but true, sincere. Again, we go back to the word authenticity, sincere. And you don't have to be a rah, person. Because I mean, look at Anthony. Anthony's not a rah person. I got to kind of motivate. I'm the one that's excited. I can't even talk right now because my voice is shot, but I'm not yelling. I'm excited, but that's just who I am. But here's a perfect example. You can be calm, relaxed, and like Anthony and be a successful person. Well, me as a rowdy kind of person, as sometimes, I want to do so many different things in life. I've learned that I need to focus on what's important. And Anthony, by you coming on today, you remind me I have to remember every day what's the most important thing in my life. And so I want to thank you for that.
Of course.
So there's more people talking here. I wanted to kind of do a shift, and we're going to get to our last question. We're almost done here. But before we get to our last question, and that's going to be, let's talk a bit about a success story. Okay. So Anthony, I know you're going to talk a little about this, but I want to share real quick before time gets past. I just, again, want to share with you guys, if you can go ahead and as soon as we get off this call and off this live, just go to our Facebook page and our YouTube page called Clear Vision with Miles. Why do we want to build these 2 communities, Facebook and YouTube? And we'll do more later. You can find us on Instagram too. I just don't do a lot of publicity on that one, but it's going to be Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, Clear Vision with Miles. Why are we doing this? Because we want to create a community where entrepreneurs or authors, businessmen, musicians, even nonprofits. I really feel I want to help nonprofit organizations succeed. And so we're going to create these communities, and we'll be going live in these communities with special events just for authors, just for entrepreneurs. And we're going to bring on guests like Anthony. We'll bring some nuggets. We'll give some free gifts away. Like I said, today we have a free gift. And so today is our last day of our entrepreneur month. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're watching live or even the recording, please give us some hearts, show us some love, but share this out. Share these when you come on these, share them out. It'll also stay recorded on my page. You can always share that out as well. There's a little arrow there, but please go to Clear Vision with Miles. And today there's a few people that are interacting with us. I'm looking down at my phone, but there's a few people interacting with us live right now. And one of you is going to win a gift card today. We're going to give away we're giving away a $25 gift card. You may think, oh, that's not a lot of money. Well, hey, if it's not a lot of money, I'll win. I'll take it then. But it's just to say thank you for showing up. Thank you for sharing this out. And it's more about, sharing. And so if you could share this out right now onto, we're still live. And if you share it, it'll stay recorded on there, but also go to our YouTube page, go to our Facebook group, and like and follow and subscribe to those pages. We appreciate that. And you'll get notified. We're going to do some great things here on Clear Vision. I've had 2 meetings that and if you're on with us in the very beginning, you saw our new intro. So that's going to be, you'll see it again here at the end. But also we're scheduling and making some things to where we can help you a lot more, do a little more giveaways. And as this grows, we're going to be doing a lot more. But I think what we're doing today, what the guests that I've brought on have inspired you and continue to inspire you, just like Anthony's story. It inspires me, it just inspires me to hear him. Whenever we're at an event or there's a Zoom or a meeting, I want to hear from Anthony. And it's interesting. He knows he's a pro. He's a mentor. He didn't say this, but he has a team right now of 200 different solar professionals all across the country and Puerto Rico, right, brother?
Yes, sir.
So, in Spanish, we say, ahí como lo ven. I don't know how you say it in English. I mean, here he is right here. He's, in full color and vive a todo color. He's right here, but there you have him. I mean, he's this humble young man, a father, a husband. I know he loves God. He loves people. He loves his family. And there's a purpose in his life, and he decided not to take his life. And I'm sharing this because you shared it, brother, with the liberty you gave me right now, that he didn't believe the lie that he should take his life, but he saw an opportunity, and the opportunity was a business opportunity. And I believe that God is in everything, and there's hope in everything. And so that's what we want to bring to you with Clear Vision. Close us out, Anthony. Share with us, a big accomplishment that you've had in your personal life. I'm sure you're gonna say family, your wife, your daughters, because they're beautiful. I love them. I haven't even met them personally yet, but I love them because social media now does that. But some business accomplishment too that you're very, very proud of.
Yeah, of course. And you're probably gonna hear my 3-year-old screaming her lungs out right now in the background.
That's okay.
Yeah, aside from family, my wife and my 2 daughters, business itself, like when I first started in the solar industry, I never knew how many homeowners I would be helping. I never knew how many consultants would be on my team. And it was just by simply sharing the opportunity to one person who shared it to another and another and another. And then just by me helping one client led to another referral to another. The more I started talking to more people, and I'm a more timid, more quiet, right? So it's not easy for me to go out there and talk to people, but I really just share my story now. And, I never knew that could inspire others. And yeah, so I guess the success in business has been how big the team has grown, and how many people I've been able to help through the platform, through, obviously the business opportunity.
Awesome, bro. No, family first, God first, family second, life. That's what I tell people all the time. And we're about to close, guys. If you missed this, we have a few more people are joining right now just because of the time. Go back and watch the recording. Trust me, you're going to be glad you did. It's about 40 minutes long. But always during this 6 months that I could not see it all, bro, I think I told you this. I had 3 people that I depended on and got me through this. And in this order, God, my wife, and Alexa. I could tell the story for the rest of my life, because when, I had that time I couldn't see, God, what's going on? And then he would tell me what he'd tell me. And through people and through audios that I would listen to on Alexa. And then, my wife obviously, took care of me and takes care of me still to this day and is very, very caring for me. And then when I couldn't see to dial phone. And so my wife would just have to leave to pick up my kids. My mother-in-law, was here to help me too, but I'd have to have Alexa call and ask her what time it was, what's the weather. And now I love that little circle, Alexa. But any last words before we leave, Anthony? Dude, I want to thank you so much. I appreciate you. Again, guys, we're giving away a free Amazon gift card, $25 to those of you who are participating in this chat. It's about over. Share this out, and I will have the winner. I'll let you know who won. We'll start announcing the winners, and maybe we can do this every week. I don't know. We'll see how things go. But definitely share this out. We want to grow this community. Anthony, thank you so much. Any last words?
No, I just like to say thank you again, Miles, for having me on this call, for inviting me, thinking of me. And I hope I was able to, hopefully bring value to someone's life, business, situation, and hopefully I was able to inspire at least one person with our call. Hopefully a lot more. But yeah, like Chris say now is just for you guys. Like I said, you guys have your own story. Pay it forward. Go inspire more people. Let's help more people and change the world one person at a time.
Awesome. Well, there you heard it from Anthony, one of my greatest heroes. You're one of my heroes, brother. I have a hero hat, a champion hat. I'm gonna put it on next time for you. But this is the last episode of our entrepreneur series. We will have another, and I believe we're gonna bring Anthony back for that because he just inspires us. This entrepreneur series was to inspire everyone, but specifically those entrepreneurs, businessmen, businesswomen, who are maybe thinking of starting your own business. You heard it from Anthony today. Start it. Just do it. Number two, if you're struggling, having a hard time, look for that help. Build a team. We're here. I'm sure Anthony will take a call from you. I will definitely take a call from you. And I've got other friends. We've got some more friends that are joining right now that will definitely help you. But and then also just those other people we talked about that we want to inspire and help. So if you find any value in this, please share it out. We're giving away a free $25 gift card today. I'd love for it to be a $100 gift card. I can't do that today, but maybe someday we'll do that. But share this out. Let's grow this community. And thank you all so much. Watch this one last video, and we will see you next week. Our next week is in Spanish, and I've got a very, very special person that you're going to laugh. Trust me, you will laugh because that is what she does. That's what she does. That's her full-time gig. I'll tell you this, she's a 90-year-old woman and she spreads laughter. So don't miss next week. She was in the hospital this last week. She's home now. She's good, but don't miss it. It's in Spanish, but don't miss it. Even though you don't speak Spanish, don't miss it. So I'm going to give you one last video, guys. Thank you so much. And watch this video as we leave.